Hey guys, tonight we're pulling an all-nighter on the graveyard shift, the kind where the county roads stretch like black ribbons under a bruised sky, and every headlight feels like the last one you'll ever see. Rain taps on the squad car windows in a nervous Morse code, the wipers smearing neon reflections from the all-night diner sign across the glass. The radio static hums low, a lullaby of white noise that keeps the loneliness from swallowing me whole. You probably won't make it to dawn after this one. So, before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. Drop your location and local time in the comments. I read every one while I'm parked under flickering street lamps, waiting for the next call. Now, dim the lights, maybe crack open a window for that midnight fog, and let's hit the streets together. It starts at 23:47, the digital clock on the dash glowing green like a sick heartbeat. Dispatch crackles through the speaker. The voice of Marlene, 23 years on the job, smoker's rasp, never raises it above a murmur. Unit 4, welfare check at 1187, Old Mill Road. Neighbor reports yelling, then silence. Caller sounded off. Off. That's code for drunk, high, or scared enough to dial 911 and hang up. I key the mic for en route. ETA 6 minutes. The rain thickens, drumming the roof like impatient fingers. I flick on the high beams. The cones of light carve tunnels through the downpour, catching the occasional glint of a mailbox or a deer's eye before it bolts. Old Mill Road is county jurisdiction, a forgotten spur where the asphalt gives up and gravel takes over. The address belongs to a single-wide trailer half swallowed by kudzu. Porch light burned out years ago. I park nose out, habit from too many domestics that end with someone sprinting for the tree line. My boots crunch on wet shells as I approach, maglite beams sweeping the sagging steps. The front door hangs open 3 inches, a sliver of yellow bulb glow leaking into the night. Sheriff's Department. I call, voice steady the way the academy drilled into us. No answer, just the rain hissing on tin. Inside, the air is thick with mildew and something metallic. Old blood or cheap wine, hard to tell. Living room looks staged for a tornado. Couch flipped, coffee table splintered. A child's plastic tricycle lying on its side like roadkill. I clear the kitchen. Empty takeout boxes, sink full of dishes crusted red. Bedroom door at the end of the hall is closed. I nudge it with my boot. The hinges sigh. A woman sits on the edge of the bed, back to me, rocking slow. Ma'am? Sheriff's Department. You okay? She doesn't turn. Her hair is wet, plastered to her skull like she's been outside. I step closer, hand resting on the cuffs at my belt. Ma'am, that's when the radio in my earpiece pops. Not Marlene's voice, but a whisper, thin as spider silk. She's not breathing. I freeze. The woman on the bed keeps rocking. I key my shoulder mic. Dispatch. Confirm last. Static. Then Marlene, calm. Say again, 4. The whisper returns, closer, inside my skull now. Check the pulse. My flashlight beam trembles across the woman's neck. No rise and fall. I reach, cold skin, slick with rain or sweat. No carotid thump. Rigor hasn't set, but she's gone. I backpedal, drawing the mic to my lips. 4 to dispatch. Roll EMS and backup. 1187 Old Mill, 1 deceased. The bedroom light flickers. The woman's head rotates 180 degrees, smooth as a swivel chair, eyes milk white, mouth moving in time with the voice in my earpiece. You're too late, deputy. The radio explodes with overlapping chatter. Marlene, units en route. A third voice I don't recognize screaming coordinates that don't exist. I stumble into the hallway, boots slipping on something viscous. My beam catches the wall. Fresh handprints, child-sized, smeared downward like someone was dragged. The trailer feels smaller, ceilings pressing. I burst onto the porch, gulping night air. Red and blue lights strobe in the distance. Backup, Finally, EMS pronounces her at 012. Name, Clara Hensley, 34. Reported missing by her sister 6 months ago from a town 2 counties over. No ID in the trailer, no vehicle, no signs of forced entry. The coroner notes rainwater in her lungs, drowned. But the nearest body of water is a creek half a mile away, bone dry this season. I'm filling out the scene log under the dash light when my radio crackles again. Not Marlene. The whisper, call 2 is waiting. I stare at the handset. The frequency display reads 0.0, dead air. I shake it off, chalk it up to fatigue, bad coffee, the storm playing tricks on the repeater tower. But I think some crimes were never meant to be solved. Back at the precinct, I file the report in the basement evidence room, standard for unattended deaths. The clerk, Jenkins, signs the chain of custody with a yawn. Fluorescent tubes buzz overhead, casting jaundiced light on rows of cardboard boxes labeled by year. I slide Clara's folder into 2025 deaths. The box next to it shifts, though no one touched it. A manila envelope slides out, lands at my boots. No label, just a coffee ring stain shaped like a noose. Inside, a Polaroid of the same trailer, taken from my exact vantage point on the porch, timestamped 23:47 tonight. In the photo, I'm standing behind my own shoulder, staring at myself staring at the open door. My radio is mid-crackle, mouth open mid-sentence. But I'm alone in the picture. The version of me has no reflection in the squad car window. I slam the envelope shut, heart jackhammering. Jenkins is gone. Break, I guess. The basement stairwell yawns behind me. Footsteps descending though I hear no one above. I pocket the Polaroid against regs, tell myself I'll log it tomorrow. Driving home at 3 o'clock, the rain finally quits. Fog rises off the pavement like steam from a fresh grave. My rearview mirror catches a flicker, Clara in the back seat, rocking again, whispering coordinates I don't recognize. I blink, the seat's empty. Just a shadow from the dashboard glow. I pull over, kill the engine. The silence is worse than sirens. Somewhere in the fog, a child's tricycle bell dings once, then nothing. I think of the handprints, the Polaroid, the voice that knew I'd be too late. Routine welfare check, they'll say. But the radio log shows no incoming call to 1187, Old Mill Road tonight. Neighbor never dialed. Dispatch has no record. Yet here I am, clutching a photo that proves I was there, or will be again. The fog thickens, swallowing the road. I sit until the sky pales, waiting for the next whisper that always comes at 23:47. The second call drags me out of the precinct lot at 1:14, tires hissing through puddles that reflect a moon I can't see. Dispatch, Marlene again, voice like gravel soaked in bourbon, sends me to the old Riverside warehouse on Dock Street. Possible 10 to 62, breaking and entering. Anonymous tip said lights flickering inside, then screams. I key the mic for responding, solo. Backups tied up with a bar fight across the river. I'm the only unit south of the tracks tonight. The wipers beat a slow, hypnotic rhythm as I roll past shuttered pawn shops and a laundromat still spinning clothes for ghosts. Dock Street dead ends at the river, chain-link fence peeled back like tinfoil. The warehouse squats 3 stories high, brick blackened by a century of coal smoke. Windows stare blind, most boarded, a few gaping with jagged teeth of glass. My mag light cuts a narrow tunnel through the dark. The beam trembles because my pulse is doing double time. I park behind a stack of rusted shipping containers, kill the headlights, let the engine tick itself cool. Standard felony stop procedure. Observe, report, wait for probable cause. But the anonymous tip nags, screams, then silence. I step out, boots crunching on broken glass that sounds like bone shards. The side door hangs ajar, padlock snapped clean. Fresh prime marks gleam silver against the rust. I draw my sidearm, thumb the safety, push inside. The air hits like a wet towel. Mold, diesel, and something sweet rotten. Roadkill left in sun. My flashlight sweeps rows of wooden crates stamped with faded Cyrillic. Dust motes swirl in the cone of light, slow-motion snow. Then I hear it, footsteps overhead, deliberate, pacing the length of the second-floor catwalk. Thud, thud, pause. Thud, thud, pause. Like someone measuring the planks with a coffin lid. Sheriff's Department. My voice bounces, comes back smaller. The pacing stops. I climb the metal stairs bolted to the wall, each step ringing like a dinner bell. The catwalk is narrow, rail rusted through in places. Below, the warehouse yawns into blackness. My light barely kisses the floor 30 feet down. Halfway across, the footsteps resume, behind me now. I spin. Empty. Just my own shadow stretched long and thin, twitching whenever the bulb in my mag light flickers. I keep moving, boots clanging, until I reach the foreman's office, a glass box perched above the loading bay. Door closed, frosted window spiderwebbed with cracks. Inside, a single bulb swings from a frayed cord, painting the room in slow arcs of yellow. A suspect sits at the desk, back to me, shoulders hunched under a hooded jacket. Hands folded, unmoving. Hands where I can see them. No response. I circle wide, gun trained. The hood turns, slow, deliberate, and I'm staring at a face wrapped in shadow except for the eyes. Twin coins of reflected flashlight. Male, mid-30s, skin pallid like he's been stored in a fridge. He raises his hands, palms forward. Empty. On the ground now. He stands instead. 6'2", maybe 6'3", lanky. The bulb swings between us, strobing. I repeat the command. He tilts his head, listening to something I can't hear, then steps backward, through the desk. Solid oak. No trick, no trapdoor. One moment he's there. The next he's on the far side. Untouched wood between us. My training screams hoax, mirrors, projection. But the dust on the floor shows only my boot prints. I lunge, shoulder the door. It doesn't budge, locked from the inside, though the keyhole's rusted shut for decades. The suspect walks through the wall into the warehouse proper. I follow, circling back to the catwalk. He's below now, strolling between crates, hands in pockets like he owns the place. I thunder down the stairs, radioing position. Static answers, thick and wet. My earpiece hisses the same whisper from the trailer. He's waiting for you. I hit the floor running, beam bouncing. The suspect stops at a stack of pallets, turns. For the first time, the light catches his face fully. It's mine, older, gaunt, badge missing, eyes hollow. He smiles with my mouth. You're late again, deputy. I raise the Glock. Down on the ground. He mirrors the motion, lifting an identical duty weapon, except his is translucent, barrel wavering like heat haze. We stand 10 feet apart, guns trained, reflections in a funhouse. My radio erupts. Marlene, frantic. Unit 4, say you're 20. Signal dropped. I key the mic without breaking eye contact. Warehouse interior, pursuing suspect. The doppelganger mouths the words with me, half-second delay. Then he lowers his weapon, holsters it, and walks backward into a crate. The wood swallows him like water. I approach, cautious. The crate is stenciled property of Riverside Shipping, 1987. I pry the lid. Inside, a deputy's uniform, neatly folded, name tape reading D. Harlan, my name, my size. Blood crusts the collar, still tacky. Underneath, a cassette recorder, red light blinking. I hit play. My own voice, recorded tonight. Warehouse interior, pursuing suspect. The loop repeats, volume climbing until the speaker distorts. I eject the tape, pocket it. The uniform dissolves into dust the moment air touches it, particles swirling up into my flashlight beam like gray fireflies. I think some crimes were never meant to be solved. Back in the squad car, I logged the B&E as unfounded, No damage beyond the pride door, no footprints but mine. Evidence techs will laugh tomorrow. The warehouse is scheduled for demolition next week. City Council finally tired of squatters. I drive the river loop to clear my head. Windows down, fog curling in like cigarette smoke. In the rearview mirror, the warehouse lights flicker once. Every bulb inside blazing, then die. My dash cam, which I forgot to activate, shows 30 seconds of static at 1:43, timestamped the exact minute I entered. When I review the footage later, a second figure stands behind me on the catwalk the entire time, unseen, hand resting on my shoulder. I pull into the precinct lot at 2:30, engine idling. The cassette sits on the passenger seat, label scratched off. I pop it into the ancient deck we keep for old training tapes. Side A, my pursuit, distorted. Side B, breathing, heavy, wet, close to the mic. Then a child's voice, the same pitch as the tricycle bell from earlier. Call 3 is in the alley. The tape ends with a click, like a handcuff snapping shut. I sit until the fog presses against the windows, until the dashboard clock resets itself to 1:14. The warehouse call that hasn't happened yet. Or happened already. I can't tell anymore. The alley call hits at 2:51. Marlene's voice thin through the speaker like she's been holding her breath since the warehouse. Unit 4, 10 to 16 domestic, 200 block of Mercer behind the Lucky Lantern Lounge. Female screaming, male subject armed with unknown weapon. Caller disconnected. I'm already rolling, tires spitting gravel as I leave the precinct lot. Mercer's a narrow vein of brick and overflowing dumpsters wedged between the bar and a pawn shop that hasn't opened since the flood of '09. Standard domestic protocol. Approach quiet. Lights off. Park one block out. Foot patrol the rest. I nose the cruiser behind a delivery van. Kill the engine. Rain's back. A cold mist that beads on my visor and tastes of rust when I lick my lips. I slip between the buildings, mag light off, letting the amber glow from the bar's back door guide me. The alley smells of sour beer, fryer grease, and wet cardboard. Halfway down, a security bulb flickers over a side exit, painting everything in sickly pulses. A couple argues in silhouette, her back to the wall, his hands caging her in. She's small, hoodie swallowing her frame. He's built like a refrigerator, sleeves rolled to show prison ink. I step into the light. Sheriff's Department. Hands where I can see them. They freeze. The woman's face is tear-streaked, lip split. The man's knuckles are raw, glistening. I order him to the ground. He complies slow, palms up, muttering compliance. I cuff him, metal ratcheting cold against my fingers. The woman won't meet my eyes. You okay to walk? She nods, hugging herself. I radio for a second unit to transport the male, then turn to escort her to the mouth of the alley where EMS can check the lip. That's when I see the mirror. It leans against the dumpster, full length, ornate frame chipped gold. Someone's curb salvage, probably. The glass is intact, fogged at the edges. My reflection stares back, but the timing's wrong. I raise my right hand to wipe condensation. Mirror Me raises left. I tilt my head. Mirror Me smiles first. The woman notices, whispers, "Don't look too long." I ignore her, step closer. The reflection's uniform is soaked in blood down the front, badge dulled. My own shirt is dry. I reach. My fingers meet cold glass. Mirror Me reaches back, but its hand keeps going, palm pressing out until the surface ripples like water. The prisoner laughs from the ground, low and wet. Told you not to look, pig. I spin, gun half drawn. He's still cuffed, but his eyes are rolled white, mouth moving in a voice not his. She's waiting in the glass. The woman bolts. I lunge after her, boots skidding on slick brick. She ducks around the corner, gone. The prisoner's head snaps forward, eyes normal again, confused. Where'd she go? I don't answer. The mirror now shows the alley empty except for me. Except there are two of us in the glass. One holstering the gun, one drawing it. I backpedal. The bulb overhead pops, plunging us into darkness broken only by the bar's red exit sign. My flashlight clicks on, beam shaking. The mirror is gone. In its place, wet footprints leading deeper into the alley, small, bare, mine. I follow because protocol says secure the scene, because curiosity is a hook in the gut. The prints stop at a rusted fire escape. I climb. Second floor landing. Another mirror, smaller, propped against a condemned door. This one shows the woman from earlier, hoodie down, face bruised but smiling. She mouths my name, Harlan, though I never told her. I draw closer. The glass fogs with my breath. Behind my reflection, the alley stretches infinite, lined with mirrors reflecting mirrors. In each, a version of the domestic plays out differently. One where I arrived too late, her throat opened. One where the prisoner shoots me point blank. One where the woman kisses me, blood on her teeth. The reflections step forward in unison, palms pressing glass. The nearest whispers through the surface, voice layered like a bad splice. Pick one. I think some crimes were never meant to be solved. I smash the mirror with the butt of my mag light. Shards rain, slicing my knuckles. Blood drips, warm, real. The prisoner below shouts. He's alone. Cuffs empty. The linking chain severed clean. I thunder down the fire escape. He's sprinting for the street. I tackle him into a puddle that reflects the sky like black glass. While I wrestle him back into cuffs, my radio hisses the whisper again. Call 4 is in the basement. Static swallows Marlene's response. The prisoner's eyes roll white once more, then clear. He has no memory of the woman, the mirror, the escape. Just a headache and a warrant for a parole violation in another state. EMS arrives, patches my hand. The lip injury on the victim is logged as self-inflicted. Nail marks, not knuckles. No female matching description in the system. Number 911 recording of the original call. The alley cam at the bar malfunctioned exactly during the incident. 37 minutes of snow. I bagged the largest mirror shard as evidence, though it's just glass now, my reflection behaving. Back in the cruiser, I wrap my bleeding hand in gauze. The shard sits on the passenger seat, fogging again though the heater's off. In it, the woman waves goodbye. I drive slow, letting the mist cool the sting. Every reflective surface, puddles, shop windows, the chrome of parked cars, shows the same flicker. Me walking the alley alone, mirror intact, prisoner still cuffed to the dumpster. I blink. The images snap to present. My dash clock reads 2:51. The call that just ended. Or hasn't started. I pull over, engine idling, and watch the numbers freeze, then roll backward to 2:50. The radio crackles, Marlene's voice younger, less tired. Unit 4, 10 to 16 domestic, 200 block of Mercer. I don't answer. I sit until the mist thickens into fog, until the alley behind me swallows its own echoes, until the only reflection left is the one in my eyes, bloodshot and waiting. The precinct basement smells like wet paper and the ghost of cigarette smoke that's been banned for 15 years. I'm down here at 327, technically off shift but unable to leave the building. Unable to drive past the county line where the fog feels like a living thing pressing against the windshield. My hand throbs under the gauze. The mirror shard rides shotgun in a paper evidence bag, fogging the plastic from the inside. Marlene signed off with a tired, get some rack time, Harlan. But sleep is a suspect that skipped bail hours ago. I tell myself I'm logging the shard, closing the loop. Really, I'm chasing the whisper that promised call 4 is in the basement. The elevator groans like it resents the trip. Fluorescent tubes stutter overhead, half of them long dead, the rest buzzing Morse code I can't decode. The evidence cage is a chain-link box at the far end, past rows of metal shelves sagging under decades of unsolved lives. My key ring jingles too loud. The sound ricochets off cinder block and comes back smaller, ashamed. Box 2025 Deaths sits where I left it after the trailer. Clara Hensley's folder is on top, but the coffee ring noose on the envelope beneath has spread, bleeding fresh brown across the manila like the stain is still wet. I open the envelope. The Polaroid is gone. In its place, a single page torn from an old case file, paper brittle, ink bleeding anew. Incident report, 1987, Riverside warehouse arson. 1 deceased, Deputy Daniel Harlan, badge 217, my badge number, my last name. Cause of death, smoke inhalation. Body never recovered. I stare until the letters blur. My grandfather was Daniel Harlan, retired 89, died of a heart attack in '02. No warehouse fire, no missing body. Yet the signature at the bottom is mine. Same looping H, same pressure on the pen. Footsteps descend the stairwell behind me, slow, deliberate. I spin, flashlight up. Empty. Just the echo catching up. I slide the report back, but the envelope is heavier now. Inside, a reel-to-reel tape, 1/4 inch, labeled Harlan, final transmission. The precinct hasn't had a real player since the Clinton administration. Still, I carry it to the property room's ancient workbench, dust thick as felt. A dusty woolen sack sits under a tarp, cord chewed by mice, but intact. I thread the tape with fingers that don't feel like mine. Static, then breathing. Mine, older, ragged. Control. This is Harlan. Warehouse interior. Suspect armed. Need backup. The same pursuit I recorded tonight, but the timestamp reads 1:43, October 12, 1987. My voice cracks. He's in the walls. Tell my wife. A roar of flame, then silence. The tape ends with a click, rewinds itself though I never touched the switch. I play it again. This time, a second voice overlays. Child soft. Open the file, deputy. Box 1987 Missing Persons is 3 shelves up. I drag the step stool, metal legs screeching. The box is sealed with evidence tape dated last week, my initials in fresh Sharpie. I slice it open. Inside, a single folder, thick, water-stained. Top sheet. Missing, Deputy D. Harlan, last seen Riverside warehouse. Photograph paper-clipped. Me, current uniform, current age, eyes wide in the basement fluorescence. Below it, a second photo. Me again, but burned, skin blistered, badge melted into the fabric. The date on both, today. I think some crimes were never meant to be solved. The lights dim, a brownout or something worse. My flashlight flickers, dies, then flares back twice as bright, hot against my palm. The shelves shift, boxes slide forward on their own, forming a corridor that leads deeper than the basement should allow. At the end, a door I've never seen. Steel, no handle, precinct seal broken. It swings inward on silent hinges. Beyond, a room lit by a single red bulb, walls lined with filing cabinets that breathe, drawers opening and closing like lungs. In the center, a desk. On it, an open case filed bleeding fresh ink, my handwriting, real-time. I step inside. The door shuts. The red bulb pulses in rhythm with my heart. The file is titled Harlan, D. Ongoing. Pages flip themselves. Welfare check at Old Mill Road. Warehouse B&E. Mercer Alley Domestic. Each incident annotated in red pen I don't remember using. Last page. Tonight. Basement 327. The ink is still wet. It writes itself as I watch. Subject enters evidence room. Confronts artifact. Loop initiates. A final line appears. Resolution pending confession. Behind me, a drawer opens. Inside, my service weapon, oiled, loaded, but the serial number is filed off. Next drawer, my badge, polished, but the nameplate reads Daniel. I back away. The red bulb bursts. Darkness swallows everything except the glow of the open file. Words luminescent now. Confess. I laugh. Nervous, cracked. Confess what? The room answers in layered voices. Clara, the warehouse doppelganger, the mirror woman, the child on the tricycle. That you were never the hunter. The cabinets rattle. Files spill, pages swirling into a cyclone of paper cuts. I shield my face. When the storm settles, the room is empty except for a single mirror. Full length, same ornate frame as the alley, but the glass is black, depthless. My reflection steps out of it. Not a copy. The real me. Older, eyes dead, uniform charred. He places a hand on my shoulder. Weight real, warmth gone. Trade places, he whispers with my voice. End the shift. I raise my gun. He raises his, empty, a prop. I lower mine. He smiles sad. You already did. The mirror ripples. I see the basement through it. My body slumped at the desk, pen in hand, finishing the report that will seal the loop. The me in the mirror waves goodbye the way the woman did in the shard. I reach. Our fingers meet glass that isn't glass. Cold rushes in, river water in my lungs though I'm bone dry. The red bulb reignites behind me, but I'm on the wrong side now, watching the living me stand, holster the gun, walk to the door that opens onto the stairwell. The door locks. The file on the desk closes itself. Ink dries. I pound the mirror. My fists pass through, but I can't follow. The precinct noises fade. Elevators, distant radios, Jenkins humming off-key in the cage. Silence pools, thick as blood. On the other side, the living me pauses at the threshold, turns, meets my eyes through the glass. He mounts. Call 5 is the chase. Then he's gone, footsteps ascending, leaving me in the red dark with the cabinets that open and close like lungs that don't need air. I sit at the desk. The file reopens to a fresh page. My hand, his hand, begins to write. I'm behind the wheel again at 4:03, but the dash clock is a liar. It's been 4:03 for the last 20 minutes. The second hand sweeping backward like it's trying to unscrew time. The radio is dead except for a low, arrhythmic pulse that matches the throb in my bandaged hand. Marlene hasn't checked in since the basement. The precinct frequency is a flat line. Fog has swallowed the town whole. Street lamps are drowning suns, their lights smeared into useless halos. I don't remember leaving the evidence room, don't remember the elevator ride or the walk across the lot. Yet here I am, engine idling, high beams carving tunnels that collapse the moment I pass. The call comes through the dead speaker anyway, a voice I almost recognize, my own, maybe, or the burned deputy's. 10-80, pursuit in progress, northbound County 17, suspect vehicle black sedan, no plates. I key the mic out of reflex. Nothing transmits. The pulse in the speaker quickens, becomes tires on wet asphalt. Headlights flare in the rear view. A black sedan, sleek, anonymous, riding my bumper, though I'm doing 60 on a road posted for 35. No plates. No driver visible through the tinted rear glass. I floor it. The cruiser surges, speedometer climbing past 90, but the sedan matches, effortless. County 17 is a snake of switchbacks through pine and kudzu. Guardrails are rusted suggestions. My headlights catch the sedan's taillights, red, then gone, then red again. Like a heartbeat I can't outrun. I radio again. Static. The pulse in the speaker is laughter now, layered, child and adult, and something in between. The road ahead loops. I know this stretch. I just passed the mile marker for the old Baptist cemetery. The same crooked oak, the same collapsed billboard for a motel that burned in '94. I'm chasing my own exhaust. Curiosity flips to fear when the sedan brakes hard, fishtailing across both lanes. I stand on the brakes. ABS chatters, tires howl. The cruiser stops inches from the sedan's bumper. Both vehicles idle, fog swirling between us like breath. The sedan's driver door opens. No one steps out. The interior light is off, the seat empty. Yet the car rocks, gentle, as if someone heavy just climbed in back. My rear view shows my own back seat, empty except for the evidence bag with a mirror shard. The shard is whole again, propped upright, reflecting the sedan. I draw my sidearm, exit slow. Sheriff's Department. Driver, exit the vehicle. The fog answers with dripping pines. I circle the sedan, boots silent on the center line. Driver's seat, empty. Passenger, empty. Back seat. The mirror, full length now, frame chipped gold. My reflection stands outside the cruiser, gun drawn, exactly where I am. But I'm also inside the mirror, behind the wheel of the sedan, hands at 10 and 2, eyes locked on the rear view. Mirror me mouths, trade. The cruiser's engine revs though my foot's on the ground. It lurches backward, tires spinning, dragging me by the open door. I dive clear. The cruiser fishtails, rights itself, and accelerates south, back the way we came. The sedan follows. I'm left in the road, gun in one hand, flashlight in the other, beam cutting useless circles. Then the headlights return, twin comets in the fog. Both vehicles, nose to nose again, exactly where we started. 403 on the dash. The second hand sweeps backward. I think some crimes were never meant to be solved. I holster the gun, climb into the sedan because the cruiser's door is locked now. Key still in my pocket. The interior smells of wet earth and funeral lilies. The mirror sits on the passenger seat, reflecting the cruiser's empty driver's seat. I shift into drive. The sedan moves without my foot on the pedal, smooth, inevitable. County 17 unspools again. Oak, billboard, cemetery gate yawning open, though I swear it was chained last week. The cruiser leads, taillights pulsing like a metronome. I try the radio. My voice, recorded, 10 to 80, pursuit in progress. The same loop from the warehouse cassette, but the timestamp updates in real time. We hit the straightaway by the river levee. The cruiser accelerates to triple digits. The sedan keeps pace. Water glints black to my left, moonless. The levee road ends at a T intersection, left to the bridge, right to the pump station. The cruiser signals neither, plows straight through the barrier tape marked flood damage, do not enter. The sedan follows. The road drops away. We're airborne for a heartbeat, then plunging into the river. Water closes over the windshield, cold, absolute. I brace for impact that never comes. The sedan surfaces inside a tunnel, concrete, dripping, lit by sodium lamps that weren't here yesterday. The cruiser idles ahead, driver door open. I follow because the tunnel has no reverse, no exits. The walls are tiled with license plates, hundreds, all the same sequence. HRLN 217. My badge number spelled out. The cruiser stops at a dead end. A single door, steel, precinct seal intact. I exit. The sedan's engine dies. Silence except for dripping water and the soft click of cooling metal. The door opens onto the precinct basement. Same shelves, same evidence cage. But the boxes are labeled with tonight's dates, tomorrow's dates, dates that haven't happened yet. I walk the aisle. My boots leave wet prints that dry instantly. At the far end, the Red Bulb room from earlier. The mirror stands in the center, reflecting both versions of me, the driver and the passenger, the hunter and the hunted. The burned deputy steps out of the glass, places the reel-to-reel tape in my hand. Play it in the cruiser, he says. End the loop. I backtrack. The tunnel is gone. I'm in the precinct lot, dawn threatening gray on the horizon. The cruiser waits, engine running. I slide behind the wheel. The tape deck accepts the reel, though it's the wrong format. My voice, exhausted. This is Deputy Harlan, final transmission. If you're hearing this, the loop is broken. Do not pursue the sedan. Do not enter the basement after 3:27. Some calls are bait. Some shifts never end. A pause, then the child's voice. Call 6 is you. The tape melts, plastic dripping like wax. The dash clock flips to 4:04. Forward. The fog lifts enough to see the county line sign. I drive toward it, radio finally crackling with Marlene. Unit 4. You 10 to 24? Shifts over. Harlan. Come in. I key the mic, 10 to 24, en route to station. My voice sounds like mine again. In the rear view, the sedan idles at the intersection, headlights off, waiting. I don't look back. The final call doesn't come from dispatch. It arrives at 5:55, when the sky is the color of a healing bruise and the fog has retreated to the low places like a tide going out. I'm parked at the edge of the old railroad yard, engine off, windows down, letting the damp morning air scour the inside of the cruiser. The radio has been silent for an hour, true silence, not the pregnant kind that waits to whisper. My bandaged hand rests on the wheel. The gauze is clean now. The bleeding stopped somewhere between the tunnel and here. The mirror shard, the reel tape, the blood-crusted uniform, gone. Evidence bags empty in the trunk. I tell myself the loop is broken. I tell myself the shift is over. Then the payphone rings. It stands alone on the cracked concrete apron of the abandoned switching station, receiver dangling like a hanged man. Payphones were ripped out county-wide in 2018. This one shouldn't exist. The bell is tinny, insistent, cutting through birdsong and distant freight train rumble. I step out, boots crunching cinders. The cruiser door shuts with a soft, final click. I lift the receiver. Static, thick as wool. Then breathing, mine, but younger, the way I sounded the night I pinned on the badge. Unit 4, the voice says, 10 to 57, missing person. Yourself. Last seen entering the yard. Return to start. I look back. The cruiser is gone. The yard stretches empty except for the payphone and a single set of boot prints leading to where I stand. My own. Fresh. I follow them backward. They lead to the phone, then stop. The fog rolls in again, sudden, swallowing the tracks. The receiver is warm in my hand, pulsing. Harlan. It whispers, using my grandfather's voice, my father's, my own, confess. I think some crimes were never meant to be solved. The yard shifts. Rails realign, forming a perfect circle around me. Boxcars appear, rusted, graffiti faded to ghosts of words. One car door stands open. 217, my badge. Inside, the basement room, red bulb, filing cabinets, the mirror. The burned deputy sits at the desk, writing the report that ends with me. He looks up, eyes kind. You kept the Polaroid, he says. I pat my breast pocket. The photo is there, the one from the trailer. Me behind myself, no reflection. Time to close the file. I step into the boxcar. The door slides shut. The train lurches, though no engine pulls it. We move through fog that parts like curtains, revealing flashes. Clara rocking on the bed. The warehouse doppelganger holstering his gun. The mirror woman waving. The sedan idling at the intersection. Each scene lasts a heartbeat, then folds into the next. The burned deputy tears the report in half. You chased yourself all night, he says. Every call was you calling you. The ghost was never them. It was the part that wouldn't let go. The train slows. The door opens onto the precinct lot at dawn. Real dawn, pink bleeding into blue. My cruiser waits, engine cold. The payphone is gone. I walk to the driver door. The seat is warm, as if I just left it. On the dash, the Polaroid, but now it shows only the trailer porch, empty, door closed. No second me. I slide behind the wheel. The key turns. The radio crackles. Marlene, sounding 20 years younger. Unit 4, stand by for day shift relief. Good work tonight, Harlan. Static, then silence. I drive the loop one last time. Old Mill Road, Riverside Warehouse, Mercer Alley, Precinct Basement, County 17, Railroad Yard. Each location is ordinary in the morning light, trailers with lights on, warehouse scheduled for demo, alley swept clean, basement fluorescents humming. river levee taped off, payphone pole bare. No whispers. No reflections out of sync. Just the county waking up, indifferent. At 6:30 I park in my driveway. A modest ranch house I haven't seen in 36 hours that feel like 36 years. The porch light is on, timer, not a ghost. Inside, coffee smells fresh. My wife left a note on the counter. Early shift, see you tonight. Love you. The handwriting is hers, but the ink is still wet. I touch it. My finger comes away red. I look in the hallway mirror. My reflection blinks a half-second late, then catches up. I smile. It smiles. Same time. I sit at the kitchen table with the Polaroid. On the back, new writing appears, my pen. Shift complete. File closed. The photo curls at the edges, then ignites. No flame, just light. It burns to ash in my palm, cool as snow. The ashes swirl into the sink, down the drain. The house is quiet except for the refrigerator hum and the soft tick of the wall clock, 6:45, moving forward. I hang my duty belt on the hook by the door. The badge gleams, nameplate reading D. Harlan. No scorch marks. I pour coffee, black, and watch the street through the window. A squad car rolls past, day shift, rookie at the wheel. He waves. I wave back. The fog is gone. The sky is clear. But in the corner of my eye, the hallway mirror fogs, just for a second. A shape, me, maybe, or the burned deputy, lifts a hand in farewell. I don't turn. I sip the coffee. It tastes like the first day on the job. Like the last. The radio in the cruiser stays off now, even when I'm on patrol. I keep the windows cracked year-round, letting the county breathe through the cab. Pine sap in spring, wood smoke in fall, river mist when the moon is thin. Some nights I park at the railroad yard and listen to the rails sing under distant trains. No payphone. No boxcar 217. Just wind moving through weeds tall enough to hide a child's tricycle if one were there. The Polaroid ashes never clogged the drain. The note from my wife is pinned to the fridge with a magnet shaped like a tiny badge. The ink dried, ordinary blue. I still work graveyard, habit, or penance, but the calls are mundane. Loose cattle, loud music, the occasional drunk who thinks the fog is a shortcut home. I write the reports in careful block letters, sign them, file them upstairs where the light is steady. Yet every October 12th, at 1:43 exactly, the precinct basement fluorescents flicker once. Jenkins swears it's the breaker. I nod, say nothing. I keep a single evidence bag in my locker, empty, labeled Harlan, closed. Sometimes I open it. The air inside smells faintly of warehouse dust and river water. I close it again. On quiet shifts, I drive the loop slow, headlights off, letting muscle memory guide me. Old Mill Road's trailer is gone, condemned, bulldozed, new foundation poured for a dollar store. Mercer Alley got murals and string lights. County